Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. It is Snapshot 19w13b, the second snapshot of this week, and I got quite a few things to talk about and show you in this video. Let's start off with the things that were added in 13b. The bell has been given a new function during a raid. So what I'm going to do is give myself the bad omen effect. I'm also going to pick up a bell as we're going to place one down and ring it in just a moment. So the raid has now started. If I go up into the sky, we should see some pillagers approaching. If that is difficult though, this bell will be able to help. When we right click on it, it's going to give the glowing effect to any pillagers that are nearby. Now nearby being a key word, this thing has a range of about 30 blocks would be my estimation. And I can't figure out where the pillagers are. Might be... There we go, they're running right into the base from this side. Okay, so let's click on the bell and you'll see that a moment later they are all, or some of them, are going to get this glowing effect. Now like I said, this thing has a range. So let's say we go over to this side of the village, we can see where the pillagers are. Looks like the iron golem just killed one of them. If I ring it when we're over here, we're probably out of range. And as you can see, the iron golem is wrecking them, but they're not getting the glowing effect because they're too far away. As suspected, the range was about 30 blocks. In fact, it was 32, which is a pretty common number in programming because of doubles. So when I right click on this, there's also a sound for when you actually apply the glowing effect. And it seems to last for exactly 3 seconds. Even if you were to do it down here where it's closer, we'll listen to that sound again. There it is. It only lasts for 3 seconds. As soon as we go 1 block further away to 33, it's out of range and the effect isn't going to be applied. So while the raid is still active, we're actually going to let the Illagers win, because I missed something in the last snapshot. When the Illagers win a raid, they're actually going to celebrate, just like the villagers do. So all of the mobs celebrate by jumping up and down. This includes the Ravager, which I didn't quite get to when I was recording, and all of the creatures make these victory sounds, and you hear the sirens going off, and that's how they celebrate. Also, this is the second time today that I have found an Illager just trying to shoot at something near this bell over and over again. Earlier I had a couple of them in a different wave doing the exact same thing. This is actually really strange. What are you shooting at, and why does the arrow not go anywhere? So quirkiness aside, let's get to a big change in this snapshot, that is the Village's GUI. And before we right click on this fella, he might throw a block of clay at me because I have the Hero of the Village effect, and this was something that I missed in the last snapshot. And there it is, a block of clay. We will come back to that later on and explain that in more detail. Right now we're going to click on this villager and see the new GUI. And there it is, a list of trades that will appear down the side. The reason I gave myself the Hero of the Village effect is so that we could get some super cheap trades and just do all of this with no hassle basically, right? I should also mention that having the Hero of the Village doesn't really affect the amount of XP that you get from trading. Now it seems to have gone for the first one by default here, but once it's locked this trade out, what you're going to see is that when we put the emeralds in here, it's not going to go to the next one by default. You actually have to select it from this list to make it appear. When this slot here is empty and you click on the side, it's actually going to put the correct item in that slot for you. That's super helpful, but I'll tell you what's not helpful. All of these trades are unlocked, so you're going to get replaced, my friend. And the emerald changes to a diamond, and this one is now a master. So we have unlocked all of the trades, and as I scroll up and down you can get a feel for what that's like. This is really welcome. I like this change ever so much, especially for custom map makers. I mean, having this menu down the side to show you all the trades means you can get to them and visualize them very quickly. So all in all, I think this is a really good change. So we have a couple of bug fixes to talk about, and then we'll move on to some things that I missed from previous snapshots. This first one is to do with duplicating rails. I believe Mojang have intended to remove it from the game, and because I don't duplicate rails myself, I don't know if this is the contraption that does that, but it's something similar to this. It's really simple to build with some slime blocks and rails, and this certainly doesn't work. But I spoke to Mango who said that he'd already found another way to duplicate the rails. So although it's listed as being fixed, chances are rail duplication is still in this game. This next one is a subtle little bug fix, which I'm actually really quite fond of. Okay, so if we break sugarcane, did you see it? The sugarcane breaks one by one going upwards. Previously, they would all break at once, and this is just a subtle little change I actually think is really quite nice. Now, the next thing we're going to do is use a command. Okay, bam. We have filled it all the way up to build limit, and now it should be really obvious what the difference is. That's fantastic. I really like that. Okay, let's talk about villager breeding. This is from the last snapshot. I now know how to do this thanks to Ilmango. I'd like to give a shout out to Ilmango and Cubfan actually. I generally watch their snapshot videos after I've done my own and discover a few more things. So you may see some negative particle effects here, and that's because these villagers can't breed because there isn't a bed for their offspring. So once we create an extra bed, then an offspring should appear, and you can see them trading bread back and forth. That's because I gave them a loaf. It's Future Asuma here from the editing room. Somehow I managed to say I gave them a loaf when I intended to say I gave them a load of bread. So that is somehow an accidental pun. I do not understand how my mind works, I tell you. Okay, the little guy is in there. Do you want to come out? Let's just do that. Come on. Okay, there we go. You see, the baby appeared, but the baby required a bed in order to be bred. And that was somehow a rhyme and a pun. But anyway, every new baby villager requires their own bed. We should now see a new baby villager. There it is. There it is. This leaves me with some questions that I don't have the answer for. Like, what happens when one of these villagers dies or it goes into unloaded chunks? Does this bed now become vacant? I don't know, but let's move on to some things I can tell you about. Okay, do you see water particle effects coming off these villagers? That's because there is a raid going on. I actually thought it was like a visual bug from the last snapshot, but this is the villagers sweating. And they're sweating because the pillagers are invading. And here's a change from this snapshot. I was just looking through my notes and I had overlooked it when recording earlier. So in 19w13b there is a tweak to the quartz texture. Can you spot the tweak? It is on the left hand side of this block in the middle. So this is regular quartz and this is smooth quartz. And it didn't have this white line on the edge before, which meant that it would sort of bleed in with the smooth and look a little bit confusing. So now it's got that extra white line so that that edge pops when it's against the smooth quartz. So earlier in the video we saw that the mason threw a clay block at me. Over here I've got all of the rewards that the villager types can throw at you, and this information again comes from Ilmango. So in this chest I didn't actually put the clay block apparently, but that's the one that it throws at you. The farmer can throw these items at you. Then we have the cleric, redstone and lapis right there. We have a book from the librarian. Then our shepherd, I believe, can throw you the different colours of wool. We have the fisherman throwing fish at you. Then the butcher will throw some cooked food. The armourer will throw chainmail at you, which is a nice one, I think. Cartographer can throw different types of maps at you. And this is the most interesting of all. The Fletcher will throw at you not only regular arrows, but tipped arrows as well. And one of the type of arrows it can throw is an arrow of luck. Now, if you go into a mine shaft and you are to open a chest, it would generate the loot at the moment that you open it. And if you have the luck effect, that can actually change the contents of that and make the rewards even better. So that's a way to obtain this item in survival and then possibly make use of the luck effect on treasure chests and whatnot when you open them. Really cool stuff. Then we have the weaponsmith that will offer you these different types of axe, and last of all we have the toolsmith offering up some basic stone tools. And so when you've finished a raid and you've successfully won it and the villagers are celebrating, while you have the hero of the village effect, they will be able to throw these items at you. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you have enjoyed it, then please do leave a like. It supports the video, it supports my channel. I thank you for doing that. And of course, make sure you're subscribed if you want to keep up to date with all of the Minecraft Snapshot news. That's it from me though. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.